Hi you guys, it's 8 o'clock. I think it might actually just be just past 8 o'clock and it's time for Wednesday night wine night. I've got my favourite wine glass and I'm excited to talk to you about a few things tonight. So I thought tonight that we'd start all of this off with food hacks for energy, because it tends to be one of the biggest things that I find in my clinic is women asking how to improve their energy levels. And what I know is, there's a number of supplements and herbs and things like that that you can take that can improve your energy levels. But without the foundation of food and lifestyle practices, then, it's sort of, you're taking this stuff and the minute you stop taking it, you're going to go back to the way you were feeling. So, some of the food hack stuff that we're going to talk about is the foods that make or break your energy levels, and also about blood sugar levels, because people kind of understand the concept of, if I drink too much coffee or if I drink a Coca-Cola, I'm going to feel okay for a little while and then I'm going to feel rubbish. And the whole thing behind that is what those foods are actually doing to your blood sugar levels. So your blood sugar levels obviously go up and down as you eat or drink things. Hi, Robin. So your blood sugar levels, go up or down in response to what you have consumed, which is important for nutritional value absorption and things like that, but we don't really want our blood sugar levels to be too high for too long. And then what happens is that insulin comes along and it hangs on to the glucose in your bloodstream, and then it sort of ushers it away. And what can happen is, if you're eating too many sugary foods for too long, oh hi Nick, then you can have your insulin will sort of stop working and you will not be able to get that glucose out of your bloodstream. Hi Myri. So it's kind of complicated, and that's a bit of a diabetes picture. But when we're thinking about blood sugar fluctuations in response to food, we're thinking about foods that make our blood sugar levels skyrocket, and then what happens is then they just plummet. And that's when we find that we have those huge energy slumps and those dips, and then we're reaching for the sugary things, or we're reaching for the caffeine fueled products. Right, so I've had lots of experience, as most naturopaths do, with people wanting to improve their energy levels. And there's so much that you can do just with diet alone, without sort of touching supplements and stuff like that. And I encourage everybody to sort of make a few little changes and really tap into how that makes you feel. So I noticed this myself when I was studying to be a naturopath and I was at university, and I'm sure lots of people that have studied for long periods of time know that you end up having a bit of a caffeine reliance. Well, a lot of people do anyway. And I ended up having sort of about 4 coffees a day, and I would my energy levels would go up and then they'd crash. And so I would have another coffee and up I go and then crash. And around and around it went. And so it crept up and up and up. So one of the things that I did was sort of cut that right back, which felt like awful to begin with, and then it really felt a lot better, and I found that I had those stable kind of energy levels along the day. So Nick, you have a cup or two. I still have a cup, and on the odd occasion if I'm out places I will have 2, but I generally try not to have any in the afternoon as well, so it doesn't impair with sleep. Because remember that, oh hi Zara, remember that coffee is so much more than just caffeine. So the coffee conversation is a conversation for another day, because coffee actually has a number of antioxidants and other constituents in it other than caffeine, some of which are incredibly good for you if you're not super sensitive to caffeine. So what I noticed obviously was that, I was having that roller coaster of energy, roller coaster of blood sugar fluctuations, and that just played havoc with my energy levels. It played havoc with my weight, my stress levels, just about everything. So so that's one of the things that you can do tomorrow, is to cut back on your caffeine. And if you are struggling, maybe switch to a green tea or even a black tea to begin with, because black tea actually has another compound in it that helps us relax. So it's got the caffeine, which is stimulating, and it's got the phenylalanine, which is a relaxant. So there's a good tip. So if you guys have any questions, please type them in, because I am happy to answer them. Or if you'd like to jump on with me, I can bring you on and we can chat. So Nick, I noticed that I function better on less coffee. Oh my God, absolutely. It's sort of one of those things, not to mention what it does to the gut. And everybody actually talks about the fact that it has a laxative effect, but it only has a laxative effect. Hi Jamie. It only has a laxative effect for a certain amount of time. And then it kind of binds a lot of people up. Well, it's a good thing I don't drink coffee, so I won't have to experience withdrawals getting off it. Oh yeah, lucky you, Grace. Because I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. And some people don't feel like that, but the feeling that you get on the other side is pretty good. So the other thing, and this is like my number one thing that I do in my life, and I implore my clients to do, and I implore you guys to take on board, and that's to eat greens with every single meal. So, and when I say your greens, I'm meaning, hey JB, hope you get something out of this, I'm sure you will, is to eat greens at every single meal. So I'm talking about, spinach in your sauteed spinach in your breakfast, and big handfuls of salad greens in your lunch, and then dinner is big handfuls of salad greens on the side, or vegetables hidden in, and snacks are smoothies with big handfuls of salad greens, or zucchini, which nobody ever notices. So a few things that I like to do is I like to make, I don't know what the obsession is with Hulk, but I guess it's because you can tell your kids when anything's green that it's Incredible Hulk. But you can make a Hulk sorbet, which is basically just mango fruit, like frozen mango, blended up with a few handfuls of spinach leaves and a little bit of water, so it goes, and it's a sorbet, and your children will love it, and so will you. So obviously eating your greens. And why do we do that? Well, for a start, with all of this talk of activated bees and different genetic propensities to absorb them or not absorb them, or if we strip all of that away and just eat real food, we have all of the activated bees, and all of the folate that every single one of us can absorb is in leafy greens. You will get an absorbable form of folate from your leafy greens. Hi Janet. So that's really important. And then what you're going to get from your greens is you're going to get fiber. And what's the fiber going to do? The fiber is going to help your bowels, so that you're eliminating all of the junk that you don't need in your body. The fiber is going to help your gut flora. So all of a sudden you've got this beautiful diversity. So you've got all of this different bacteria, good bacteria, that is growing and flourishing and helping you absorb all your food in your gut. Hi Amy. Hi Emma. Oh, it's nice to see everyone. I've just seen a little kind of thing. I've noticed some people, it's a bit of a vicious cycle with coffee. They feel anxious, so they drink more coffee. then they are more anxious. What's a good replacement that you have recommended? Oh my God, Myra, you've hit the nail on the head. So dandelion root is a fantastic alternative, and you can actually get the like the dandelion root tea bags in the health food section. It's in like a yellow box, I thought Bon Vita or something, but you'll see it. It's like a bright yellow box in your supermarket aisle, and you make it up and it looks like coffee, and you can put any type of milk you want with it. I like a almond milk or a coconut milk, and turmeric lattes are beautiful as well. So they're really spicy, and turmeric as well has also just got so many gut healing properties and liver healing and all sorts. So you just like, that's the thing about these foods, is that you start consuming them and they have multiple benefits for your body and for your organs. So turmeric, dandy. If you love the taste of coffee, which I do, I get a decaf coffee, but making sure that it's an organic one and it's made via water filtration, because they use a lot of chemicals to extract caffeine from regular coffee. So yeah, there's some alternatives for you. So where were we? What are we up to? I hope that answers your question, Grace. I love an almond milk chai latte with rhubarb base instead of black tea. Oh yes, rhubarb, that's so good. Oh, and all those lovely antioxidants with your rhubarb as well. Is that you're doing your body such a favor. I still get anxiety from decaf. Oh, it's such a there's like the tiniest amount, and also there's other things at play there with liver detoxification and things like that as well, Myri. So it's quite a big picture. So for you, it's like, okay, but having the awareness of what works for you and what doesn't is the big thing, is the fact that you know to avoid that, and you've got your alternatives that work for you. So that's really, really important. Hi Pam, happy birthday. Thanks for joining us. I hope you guys have got a glass of wine or a dandy or a herbal tea or a beautiful something to indulge tonight. I won't be drinking too much wine because you don't need to see that. Right, so where were we? We were talking about greens. So as I said, it's these things, sometimes it's the simplest things. You have water, Grace. I have water too. I have to admit, I'm only going to have like a small glass of wine because that's all I need. Greens, every meal. So like the thing is, like often it's the easiest and the simplest things that can make the biggest difference. So you can do all of these things and be very, very stressed out about everything, and like, what does that do for your energy levels? Or you can bring it back to basics and start with all of these things that work for you, and then start incorporating other things. So you've got your greens, and you're going to eat your greens at every meal. Your mother was right. Eat your damn greens. Okay, the next one. And once again, this is simple, and you'll probably go, oh, really, Katie? Well, I'm on here. But it's so overlooked. I can't believe how overlooked it is. And that is making sure that you're drinking enough water. Like, I'm just like, people, I know I'm busy, you're busy, everyone's busy, but our body is a minimum of 80% water. If we don't hydrate, so many things don't happen in our body. So if I implore you to drink your water. Some of the research, I mean, there's different research saying different things, but it's about a 10% energy drop when you are dehydrated. Water and wine. Absolutely, Geraldine. Atara, I don't feel right if I don't have my greens every day. Oh yeah, absolutely, me too. Me too. It's what we were meant to eat, a lot of it. Okay, so water. So what do we do with our water? How do we get our water intake up? And especially, when we are busy. So one of the simplest things is to make sure that you've always got a bottle with you, a bottle of water. So everywhere you go, you take that bottle of water with you. I like to use glass, especially if it's going to sit in the car. So making sure that you've got a glass bottle, and when you get out and about, you don't need to take your water bottle in with you when you pop into the shops, but you come back into the car and you drink. Hi, Prue. So that's going to be really, really important, and you'll be really surprised. So when you're at home, you have a bottle of water and it sits on your bench, and every time you walk past it, you drink from it. When you're at work, you have it next to you on your desk and you drink from it. It's that thing. It's like they've done a lot of research to show that if they hide lolly jars in office settings, then what actually happens is people they won't go and seek it out, because you won't go for something that you don't know about, right? So you forget about it and you move on. Same with water. If it's not there, you're not going to drink it. Another thing that I like to encourage people to do with water, hi Emily, that I like to encourage people to do with water is to make sure that you're not drinking too much icy cold water. So I know that can be a bit hard when it's been like 1,000,000 degrees, but it's kind of important. It's one of those things where if you can drink room temperature water or even warm water, it's going to be so much better for your digestion. Now remember, if we're improving our digestion, then we're improving our absorption of nutrients that help our energy levels. So everything has a flow-on effect, as we know, in life. So the other thing is about awareness, and it's actually about I hate cold water. Oh yeah, cool, Myri. Me too. Love hot water. Great. And Prue has been hiding the biscuits in the office. Oh my God, that's so good. And I tell you what, your colleagues they might not be thankful right now, but their bodies will be, and their energy levels most certainly will be. Hi Sarah, thanks for joining. You've missed a lot of it, but I want you guys to throw some questions at me as well. Yeah, and I can answer some of them. So the other thing that I'd like to, obviously this is a huge topic, and there is just so many things that we could discuss to improve your energy levels. But what I wanted to do was throw out some of the basic, easy to implement things that are going to actually kind of give you some results. The other thing is to actually just be really aware of how different foods are affecting you. So, now sometimes when I ask people to do a diet diary, it can be a little bit daunting for some people, and they can sort of get like hung up on the perfection of it. But the biggest thing is that when you're eating a food, does it make you feel good or does it make you feel bad? And our bodies have this innate wisdom, and they will tell you so much if you tap in and you listen to that. So for example, I know that if I eat a big pasta meal at lunchtime, I'm going to be crawling underneath my desk at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I know that I just can't, my body cannot cope with that. And the same with rice or bread. And I know that about myself. So do you have those feelings? Do you feel bloated after certain foods? Do you feel blocked up? Do you have bowel changes, or do you get the runs? Because these are all things that are going to affect your energy levels. Pam, how much water should I be drinking? Oh, yes. I can't believe I didn't mention that. So how much water should you be drinking? You should, in summer, and it depends, it's $1 million question really. So this is going to depend on how hot it is. It's going to depend on how much exercise you're doing, how big you are, all of those sorts of things, how stressed you are. So I would suggest a minimum of 2 liters of water a day, and more when it's hot and more when you're exercising a lot. And that would be that would be a starting point, and try and sort of move that through the day. Okay, Myri. Yep, I've never really eaten seafood and only started as an adult, but I have found I have an allergy to most shellfish. Oh, yeah, not fun. That's not good, and there's lots of gut and liver work that you can do to really sort of help with that, Myri. That's a big conversation. What should I do? Obviously, Myri, the thing to do is to avoid those things and to make other choices until you can start working on this, which may take a very long time, or it might not. What should I do when I have that slump in the afternoon rather than coffee? Okay, what should I do? Okay, so that's a really good one. So one of the things that you can do to actually avoid that 3 p.m. slump is to make better food choices at lunchtime and for the entire day prior to 3 p.m. because making sure that you have adequate protein and fats with your meals is going to stabilize those blood sugar levels, and not so you get that plummet and then you're running for the espresso machine, or you're going to the vending machine, because pick your poison. Some people it'll be caffeine, some people it will be sugar. So my advice with that is to be prepared. So that's, as I said, fats and proteins with your breakfast and your lunch, and also making sure that when you know that's going to happen, say that 3 p.m. that's your trigger time, is making sure that you've got some healthy snacks. So that's having some hummus and carrot sticks. I like that. Or what else could you have? Or even just having the alternatives. If you can tolerate decaf, is going and getting yourself a decaf, and that's a really good start if you like the taste of coffee. But carrots and hummus is like one of my go-tos. And nuts, if you can tolerate nuts. Activated, which means that we soak them overnight, almonds in particular. Everyone says fermented foods are awesome. I find they upset my gut a lot of the time. Are some better than others? Well, the fermented food thing, once again, it's one of those things where everybody's gone, fermented food, awesome, yes, let's just all have it, it's good for everyone, rock and roll. But kind of like what we know, everybody's different, and everybody has, if you think about your gut, there is more bacteria in our gut, in our body, than there is us. So, and there is thousands of different strains, and what you have in your gut is very, very different to what is in my gut. So with fermented foods, there's lots of different interactions, and different fermented foods are just not for everyone. Some people have overgrowths of bacteria that will actually sort of interact negatively with the bacteria of fermented foods. And also with the fermented foods, it's starting off really slow. So you can't just go in and have half a cup of sauerkraut or kimchi. A lot of people, you start off with half a teaspoon and then build up, and then you might have that for about 4 days, and then you build up and up and up and up. So try that, or else maybe it's time to get to have a look and see what else is going on with your gut pro. Everyone says, yeah, every time I eat corn of any kind, I start scratching myself. Oh, well, corn is such a crazy conversation as well, because even though we don't have the Frankenstein corn like in the States, we have some very hybrid sort of grains, and corn is a grain in Australia. So corn is something that you could live a very long and healthy life without eating. Carrots, hummus, and cheese. Yum! Yum! Once again, if you can tolerate cheese, that's fantastic. I like goat's cheese. That reminded me, I'll actually have goat's cheese with carrots as well, and I love it. It's that strong taste, and I find I tolerate it better than I do with like the cheddar or Colby sort of cheese. Apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar. Interesting. Once again, kind of like fermented foods, kind of like dairy, kind of like gluten. It's not for everyone. It's going to, you have to be very careful. So some people that, you know, have got ulcers and things like that, that's not going to be too much fun. But so, like a little bit of apple cider vinegar before a meal can actually improve your digestion and your digestive capacity for that meal. But once again, like it's like not everything is for everyone, unfortunately. We need to really have a look. And if you are going to be trying new things, I suggest that you try it in small doses, and you really like tap into how things make you feel. This is the biggest thing that you, and one of the best things that you can do, is be really, really aware of how different foods make you feel, because then you're really in control of your own health. So, do I have any other questions from everyone? So what have we got? While I wait for your questions, we have got increasing water intake. We have got eating greens with every single meal, and you can get creative with that. You can absolutely do it. We can, and we're also got an awareness about what we eat, when we eat, how we eat, and how that makes us feel. Because I promise you that in itself, even if you took these 3 things and did them tomorrow, you're going to improve your energy levels. That's just the way it is. So, do I have any other questions? Great advice. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Tara. No? Okay, that's cool. So, what changes, that covers it for me. So what changes are you guys going to make tomorrow? So are you going to increase your water intake? And post me a photo, send me a message, whatever. I love talking about this stuff. As you can see, I'm here. Show me a picture of your greens that you're eating and how you're eating them and where you're hiding them. Because as well, it's not just like, you know, I'm hiding them for kids, of course, but for us, it's like sitting down and trying to eat an enormous plate of greens is time consuming and it feels big. But the minute you blend that down and put that in your smoothie, you chug it back and you're like, oh, happy days. So greens, water, and an awareness of how foods make you feel. Who's doing what tomorrow? Who's doing what tomorrow? Come on, tell me what you're going to do tomorrow. That's going to put you one step further to improving your energy levels. I'm definitely trying to keep the water up. I feel so much better with adequate water. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is like, you know, in a world where we're bombarded with information, in a world where we're like, oh, I'll try that and I'll do that and I'm going to order that and that's what I need. Oh, no, I need that. No. It's like, let's go back to basics and then build on what we need from there. So, cool. Nice one, Grace. You will feel so much better. Jamie, top 1, all of the above. Awesome, Jamie. Let me know how you go. That's so cool. Because it does make a massive difference. I've been cooking up brown rice salads. Oh, Myri, that's great. That's really good. Well, brown rice, oh my God, any day of the week. Well, eating white rice is just like any sugar. So switch to brown. Prue, all of the above. Cool. Let me know. Nick, I'll pay attention to how my choices make me feel. Oh, it's yeah, it's amazing having that awareness and what that can do. And you'll be blown away, and you'll go, oh my god, I never really realized that I keep eating this food and then I feel like this. So let me know how you go too, Nick. Violet wants to know about veggie protein sources. Violet, I love you. You're amazing. Okay, so veggie protein sources. Can I first of all tell you what I don't like? First of all, I don't if you're vegetarian and you want to eat vegetarian protein sources, please keep away from those weird Frankenstein food, soy, protein, weird things in the fridge section of the supermarket. I'm just like, what even is that? So yeah, not that. So some really, protein sources. So my number one is dal. I love dal. Hi Claudette. I reckon I could probably live off dal. So thinking about your complete proteins. So that's going to be making sure that if you are eating your legumes, that you have it with something else, because you need to make sure it's not like a meat, like an animal product where all of the amino acids are there to make it a complete protein. So what you need to do is food combine. So that's why people always eat dal with rice, which is a really good option. I really like pea protein powder as a protein powder to put in smoothies, because it is easily digestible, and it's keep it right away from all the crazy protein powders on the health food shelf. If you read the ingredients list, it's a mile long with foods and ingredients that you can't even pronounce. So a pea protein powder from your health food shop in the bulk section, it will literally be 100% pea protein, and that would be good to put in Violet's smoothies, Prue. What else is there? I do like tofu. Tofu's a good option as well. Not huge amounts, and making sure that it's organic is really important too. Tofu shaped like a steak. That's brilliant, Grace. Why not? Yeah, love it. So, yeah. Do you have any other questions? Keep them coming. It's good fun. Good fun. So if that's it for now, then I will go, and we might do another Wednesday wine night next week, and a different topic. So let me know if there's anything in particular pressing, or you've got a burning question you would like to ask me. And also, maybe you could just be brave and jump on with me, and we could chat, and I can answer your questions, because the whole thing is that any questions that you have, you can bet your bottom dollar that there's tons of other women that have them too, other people that have them too. So make your changes and let me know. Planning is always key for any change. If you leave it and you don't plan for it, it's not going to happen. I just promise you that, because change takes time to incorporate into our lives. Oh, thanks guys, if you have to go. If you would like to work with me and you would like to have all of this clarified on a one-on-one basis, let me know. You can book in easily your Skype consults or your face-to-face if you're in the Tweed area, and we can take it from there. Maybe I'll put the link for that in the comments. So I hope you guys got something from this, because sometimes it's pretty important to just go back to basics. It works, and it's a really, really good start. So thanks for coming, and happy Wednesday wine night, and I'll see you next week, you guys. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to chat about. Night, night.